Happy Friday, everybody. It's Old School Nerd. It is Tommy Day. Tommy and the band are doing a load in right now for a show. So he's in and out of the chat with all of his amazing Team Tommy friends that are here to see this premiere on YouTube. This one is a little different for me, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't really know this song that much, and everybody else does. 1992, December of 1992, Duran Duran was probably had completely fallen out of popularity here in the US. There was so much going on during the 90s and late 80s. And although Duran Duran is an iconic band, in the United States, it had kind of fallen away to other pop music and, of course, the rise of mega metal. 1992 had Metallica's Black Album, the Big Giant Tour. Of course, Guns N' Roses was coming onto the scene with Use You or Losing 2, the double album, and then you had all that. Cemetery Gates from Pantera. The just it was a crazy time in metal and music in general in the United States. Metal dominated, and there were some of the biggest metal bands out at that time for that year. And this was right before grunge started. It was kind of weird. But Duran Duran did something very special. They took a song about the death of a friend, put it on an album called, I think it's called Wedding Story or the Wedding Album or something. And they touched into something that was just viral before the internet was really a thing, right? And I remember a couple things about this song. It was that guitar feel to it, but probably one of the most iconic Duran Duran guitar solos of any song that I remember of theirs. And bands like the Goo Goo Dolls, etc., that came out years later in the next decade, owe some of that styling to Duran Duran. That vibe. And Duran Duran became a household name again. And it's so exciting for them. Out of nowhere, this song just takes off. So Tommy's going to do a cover of this. Let me also say that I remember the song on the radio passing, but I was so into Metallica and Guns N' Roses and Pantera in 1992 into 1993. And then when the song became the hit of the spring and summer, I was doing something in Fort Sill, Oklahoma for the military, so I kind of missed out on that party. I have a video about that too. All right, so here we go. I'm going to get rid of the chat. Sorry, guys. I'll see you guys later. Here we go. Tommy Johansson, Duran Duran, Ordinary World. Ooh. Okay, so what happens if Guns N' Roses or Metallica's like, we need an opening act? The opening act didn't show up. Who? Axl? Not talking about that. Okay, we need opening act. Who did we get? And they were like, oh, we got Duran Duran. And then James looks at Lars and Lars looks at him, and then yeah, they're like, crowd is not going to be okay with that. And then Duran Duran shows up and goes, we got this. And they're like, you guys need haircuts. What do you have? And you need to wipe that makeup off your face. And Duran Duran's like, so there's this kid from Sweden. I think he's like 5 years old. But in like, you know, in like 35 years, he's going to make a cover of this song. And it's going to be epic. He just traveled back in time and gave us a metal version of our cover, Ordinary World. Can we play it for you? And then they played this video, you know, 35 years ago. And then you see Tommy doing this, and Metallica's like, all right, go ahead. See, it could happen. So let's take Back to the Future. Tommy, get him a DeLorean, go back in time to 1992, spring of 1993. The opening act from Metallica and Guns N' Roses dual mega tour that they have doesn't show up. Axl. And Duran Duran has to perform this song. And because of Tommy going back in time in a Swedish DeLorean, and I know DeLoreans are from the UK, goes back in time in a Swedish DeLorean, which means it's run on pelt. All right. And so Tommy goes back and saves the tour. Or at least that show of the tour. Because that tour was ruined. Anyway, that was my joke for this video. Let's go.
To it all, crazy some say. Where is the life that I recognize? But I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to fight. And if I try to make my way through the ordinary world, I will learn to survive.
That's cool. I like that.
Passion or coincidence, what's prompted you to say? Pride will tear us both apart. Well, now pride's gone out the window, crossed the rooftops, run away. Left me in the vacuum of my heart. What is happening to me? Crazy some say. Where is my friend when I need you most? Gone away, but I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to fight.
I need to know who in metal back in the day. It's got to be in like the late 70s, early 80s. Someone in metal, probably a Swedish guy, said, you know what we need to do? We need to change the format of metal. You know, we've got all that stuff coming out, Black Sabbath and these other bands, really awesome. A couple bands, Iron Something, Iron Chick, I don't know. There's bands coming out. You know what we need to do? We need to come up with an iconic tempo, an iconic rhythmic device that signals power, that signals speed. And they were like, power? Horsepower? Horses! Yes! The sound of a galloping horse. We will make that the rhythmic device of metal going forward. And that man from Sweden changed the course of metal forever. And so now, if I don't know. Remember when I said the last thing was my joke for the video? Oh, I did two. Sorry. Tell of suffering and greed. Fear today, God tomorrow. Here besides the news of holy war and holy need, ours is just a little sorrow. That was really, really good. I want to hear that again. We're going to go back to the guitar solo. The guitar solo, he did it really, really well. Kept to the original, but yet added his own flair, especially to that end, that run. But then this turn down. This song is iconic that it goes from that guitar solo and then drops right back into something you don't hear a lot of that Duran Duran was famous for. You have the traditional radio album of from 2000 all the way back to the 1950s, the traditional musical radio format was verse chorus, bridge, guitar solo if you're in metal or whatever, then reprisal chorus. What Duran Duran was really good at was changing that up a little bit and adding one more element. Bands knew how to do a reprisal chorus to make that chorus bigger at the end, that climax of the song. Duran Duran does a reprisal verse. It's like a bridge, but it echoes the original verse styling, but bigger. So if you have a reprisal chorus, which makes the ending chorus bigger, they do a more passionate verse, a reprisal verse after the guitar solo of this song that gives it that really made this song special. And I think it's one of the keys to the song's popularity when it came out. And then so Tommy says, you know what, we're going to come back and do this. I got to do this verse, but Duran Duran elevates this verse in their original compared to the other verses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing from a metal perspective. So he adds that chunky guitar element on the back end, like a tag of each line. Awesome. Check this out.
And if I try to make my way through the ordinary world, I will. Papers in the roadside tell of suffering.
With the strings is awesome.
Today, gone tomorrow.
Having that string element in there is great.
Here besides the news of holy war and holy need, ours is just a little sorrow time. But I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to fight. And if I try to make my way through the ordinary world, I will learn to survive. It's my world, somehow I have to fight. And it is my world, I will learn to survive. It's my world.
Okay, I will say that is easily my favorite version of that song. By far, it's easily my favorite version. Tommy did some really amazing work on the reimagining of that song. Arrangement was adjusted, did an outstanding job. So yeah. Again, this song was not part of my lexicon of musical interest in 1992, 1990. There was so much going on. I mean, we already talked about all the stuff in metal, plus Van Halen, right here, right now. There were so many huge things going on in metal in America that, in my world at least, it kind of overshadowed everything that was going on in pop music. But I'm super happy that Duran Duran struck gold with this, because they had become fairly, not irrelevant, but they had been pushed aside by modern pop and the stuff that was just getting churned out here in America. So for them to bring that bit of nuance, I think, was one of the things that kind of started people going to that ballad, self-reflective style, which even in metal brought what rise to grunge. And then you had that unique pop. The pop echo of grunge are bands like the Goo Goo Dolls and such. Whereas in the mid to late 90s, they took grunge's emotions and brought it to a form of pop music and alternative rock that really kind of set it up. And I think Duran Duran kind of started that with this album and this out of nowhere song about a friend of theirs who died, and a song about him, and it just hit perfectly. And it was kind of a word of mouth. People started requesting it on a radio station, and then it kind of spread. Next thing you know, the band got told, you guys have to shoot a music video. And they were like, really? And they shot the video in like 2 weeks. So they released the song in December, kind of caught fire. And then by the middle of January, the record label's like, you guys don't have a video. You have to shoot a video. They're like, what are we going to do? We're going to do a wedding. Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. To Team Tommy, all of you have an amazing weekend. And for the rest of you, yeah, y'all can have one too. It'd be fun. We'll see you later. Oh, Tommy and the guys, Majestica, have a great show tonight. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.